So we have these two nice functions, ClientError and ServerError, but we're not using them anywhere. So let's go put them in a few places where they might be useful. And the most obvious place to check first is handlers. So I'm in my handlers.go file, and let's start looking for where we throw errors. Well, first of all, we don't need this session bit on the home page anymore, so let's get rid of that. And let's make sure that we're not actually using that anywhere on the home page template. That's under Templates, Home. Am I using that anywhere? Doesn't look like it. Just let me search for session. Nope, I'm not. Good. So that's good. So that's gone. Nothing there. This does potentially throw an error, but I'm not too worried about that one because that's just rendering the template. So I'll skip that one for now. Here in the About page, again, I'm creating all this string map stuff, which we did when we were learning about sessions. So let's just get rid of that. We're not using it at all. And make sure we're not using it anywhere on the actual template. Should have done this cleanup earlier, but I didn't. So let's get rid of this. And go look at the About page. Make sure we're not using it anywhere. Nope, I'm not, so that's good. Let's keep going. Reservation. So, anywhere in this that I'm using a reservation. I'm putting a reservation into that? No. Let's try post reservation. Aha! Here, I'm trying to parse the form. And if there's an error, I actually want to handle that. So now, rather than just logging it and returning it, let's actually use our error handling package. So this would be a server error. Let's try that. So helpers.serverError, which requires two parameters, a response writer, which we have, and the error. And that's all we have to do. So when something goes wrong parsing the form, now it will write right now to the standard out, the terminal. It'll give us detailed error messages. So let's see if we can actually invoke this. And I'm going to do that by creating an error. So I actually don't want to bother trying to duplicate parsing in a form error. I'll just redefine my error to say error equals errors, errors.new, and I'll create the error message. This is an error message. So this is on posting the reservation. So what I've done here, and it's just giving me a warning saying this condition is always true. I know that. I'm just trying to invoke this error message. Let's open our terminal window, clear the screen, and run our application. So I'm using my run.sh script. If you're on Windows, you use your run.bat script. Let's run it. So it's now running. Let's go to our browser window, and let's hit our application. And what I want to do is create a reservation. So I'll go to the URL that allows us to display that screen, make reservation, and fill out this form, abc@here.com and some phone number. And this should fire our server error. And it does, internal server error. And if we look at the log, which is currently written to standard out, we actually have all of this information, all of which is very useful. So it just generates this error message that I created right here. This is an error message. And then it tells me where it took place. It took place, and I can go all the way down to stack.go, helpers.go 23. And if I click on that in this IDE, it takes me right to that line and shows me where it took place. So I have this information. So we're on errors.go, which actually took place in handlers.go. So it takes me right to the line that generated that error. And that is incredibly useful information. So that's great. So let's stop our application, clear the screen, hide this window, and get rid of this manual error we introduced. That just shows that it actually works. Let's keep going and see if there's anywhere else we need to use this. So we have that. No errors here. No errors here. There's one. So when you try to marshal the JSON, we're just logging the error right now. Well, let's not do that. Let's actually go helpers.serverError, W, and the error. And then, of course, we want to return after that. We don't want to go any further. So I'll put a return in there as well. Anywhere else, cannot get info from session. app.errorlog, m.app.errorlog, and print line, and we'll just print the error message. And the error log will be can't get error from session. So we're just writing that error. And everything else is the same for that one. And I think that's it for this case. So we now have a method of writing useful information to the client window, to the browser window when something goes wrong. We have a server error. And we also have a means of writing to the browser window when there is a client error, which we're not using yet, but we will use before this course is over.